Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today I'd like to share with you some outside-the-box ideas that I created using the contents of the January 2019 Paper Pumpkin Kit from Stampin' Up, titled Be Mine, Valentine. This kit came straight to my mailbox and contained all of the papers, embellishments, die cuts, adhesives, and extras that I need to make 24 festive Valentine treat boxes. I also received this publication with directions, tips, photos, a ruler for measuring, details about the kit, and a link to a how-to video to help guide me in assembling. And I received this stamp set and a mini ink pad that I'll be able to use over and over again afterwards in other projects when the consumables from this kit are used up. A clear block, which was included free with my first kit to use with my stamps, and a scissors are the only extra supplies I need. Paper pumpkin kits are only $19.95 plus tax per month in the US. Shipping is included. You control which months you get your kits, and there's no commitment or obligation. They come from Stampin' Up, so the colors, images, and supplies coordinate with many other Stampin' Up products. I'll be using some of these coordinating products as I share my unique projects. You can find these items listed below and linked to my online store. You can also look below for links to learning more about Paper Pumpkin kits, starting your subscription through me so I can spoil you with extra exclusive ideas, gifts, and prizes, joining my Paper Pumpkin fan club on Facebook where you can see even more alternate project ideas shared daily. And if you're watching my video on YouTube, you can also click on the link below that will lead you to my website where I've shared close-up photos of what I'll be showing you today. I'm excited to create with you, so let's get started. I love looking on the back of the publications when I get them because it lists all the supplies that are included in the kit. And you could see just from the kit laid out that there's a ton of stuff in this particular kit. You get to make 24 boxes, but you get more than what you need. You get 24 kangaroos, you get 24 pairs of chameleons, you get 24 of these heart layers, 24 of these circles. So really, you get way more than you need. In fact, the hearts, it lists on the back that you get 40 hearts, but you actually get 40 of each color. So, oh my gosh, we get to make lots of extra stuff with it. So the first thing that I think I'll start with is just sharing you some extra tips that I have for putting together your box base. You have two sides to your box. You have the pink side and you have the blue side. Your pink side does have a direction to it because you have little hearts on it and they are going in a certain direction. So when you assemble your whole box, you want to make sure that your label piece is on the side where the hearts are going upward. If you have it on the other side, then you'll have your hearts going down. Or what you can do is you can just flip it and the hearts will go in the right direction. So now let's give you some tips on the adhesive strips. The adhesive strips are tough to use, I have to admit. So you want to make sure that you're separating them from each other by putting a crease between it, and that will help to separate the adhesive underneath, the sticky part. And then when you peel up, I find that they stay together, or the backing, I should say, stays together with your adhesive much better if when you're pulling up, you pull outward and up. So I'm going to pull this way and up at the same time. I don't want to pull this way or it's going to, kind of peel it away from itself. So I'm peeling it up and off. And now I've got my adhesive strip and my backing. So I'm going to put the adhesive on the pink side, and to do that, just lay it down. But sometimes you might find that adhesive strip extends beyond. And that's quite all right. So once we lay it down, we can use our finger and just give it, a good press and peel the backing off. And then you can just take that extra piece there on the end and overlap it so that it's in there, okay? Now we're gonna fold in the middle and we're gonna bring this tab up and just flatten down like that. And that's how you can put your box base together. You don't have to hold it up and try to put it together in a 3D form. You can keep it flat and fold it together and it will work. These little tabs are meant to be on the inside. They are the inside layer so that when you're opening up your box, you don't have to worry about your your finger trying to pick up something that you can't reach. Okay, that tab is in there on the inside on purpose. This one goes on the outside because it's much easier to get at just by pulling up on any of the edges. So now let's put together the focal point for our boxes. This is one of my circular bases with the 2 chameleons on there, and I've put them on there with dimensionals. And I've already stamped my "You're one in a chameleon" message. Super cute sentiment. And so now I'm just going to add that, and I'm going to also add these fun little heart embellishments. I find that a tool that has a little pokey end is super awesome for lifting up and adding these heart epoxy stickers. It's super convenient. So toothpick, maybe anything that's pokey, but definitely you might want to consider getting this. You do have a front and back to your box. The back is where the flaps can be grabbed for opening, and this would be the front. So again, look at your hearts, and I need to position it this way so they're going the right direction. And then you would just add your dimensionals. Your dimensionals should be going across the middle. If they're going to go up and down, then you might have a funny pull to your circle on the front. So just stick them on there, peel the backings off. Looking over the top, just stick it down, and then you can open it up and fill it with candy. Now, there have been some issues with some of the dimensionals, so if you find that your dimensionals are having a sticky problem, contact Stampin' Up! At 1-800-STAMP-UP. They are all about customer satisfaction. They want you to be happy with the product. Let me show you a couple other ones that I did. So on this one, I had the circle. It was blue, right? But you can flip them over. So you can use the white side if you want to, especially when you're putting this background piece against the blue side of the box. I think it stands out more when you have that white. But there's the kangaroo, love that one. And here is the heart-shaped background. So lots of fun boxes, and oh, I just love this set. So fun. Can't wait to create with it. Here we go. Those of us that got this kit already know, because we have the flyer inside, that this kit actually coordinates with a bunch of products in our online store or in the catalog. It's called Animal Expedition. So let me just introduce you to those pages in the catalog. You'll find them on pages 26 and 27. There's a stamp set, papers, dies, some ribbon, very fun stuff. This is the stamp set. It's called Animal Outing, and you can see there's the kangaroo right there. There's one of the birds. So there's lots of coordinating images. They're drawn the same way by the same artist. And these messages really work well with the images that are also in the stamp set in the kit. The dies can also be purchased at the same time, so you can save 10%. So if you own a die cutting machine like at the Big Shot, you can actually stamp the images and you can then die cut them from your paper afterwards, so you can have all of these fun little cutouts ready to go. And then another product is this fun leaf ribbon. It's in the Call Me Clover color. Very, very exciting. And then the designer paper. Now you're gonna laugh because I did not buy another pack before I received my paper pumpkin kit, and I'm kind of sad about that. I knew it was going to coordinate with this suite, but I did not stock up. So I have just a few little swatches left. I am going to use it though. Here is one side of the paper, and if we flip it over, you can see we have more monochromatic looking designs on this side. So printed images and stuff like that on this side. And you can find, let's see, here's the chameleon right there. So those images from the actual stamp set in the paper pumpkin kit are within the papers. So fun. So that leads me into our first set of projects. We're going to make some cards. Now, if you decide that you're going to make all of those pillow boxes that come in the kit as is, you're still going to have those leftover pieces that I mentioned, the chameleons, the kangaroos, the blue and the blue hearts and circles, and then of course these little tiny heart cutouts. So we're going to take those pieces, we're going to bring in a new ink color, Smoky Slate, which I think is a nice outline color for our ink, our character images and our words. It's a little less stark than the black, tuxedo black Memento. We're going to bring in a sheet of the paper from the Animal Expedition suite. We're going to use some heart epoxy droplets because you may actually find yourself using all of these hearts for your boxes. And so these can be found in our online store as well. They're a new product. And then we'll have some Whisper White note cards and envelopes, perfect for ready to go card bases. Okay, so let's take one of those card bases. These card bases measure 3.5 by 5. So we just need to take a swatch of our designer paper and our trimmer. And we're going to cut the designer paper 1/4 inch smaller on each of those dimensions. So we'll have 3.25 by 4.25. I'm sorry, 4 3/4. So this will fit perfectly into our 3.5 by 5 inch space with a little nice white border around it. Let's go ahead and tape that on with our snail adhesive. You have glue dots that come in your kits, but I love the quickness of the snail, so that's what I use. And we'll just stick that right on like that. Now we've got our heart. Let's grab that and put some adhesive on the back side of that. We're going to put that in the middle, down a little bit. These, let's see, let's stamp first. I want to make sure that we have room for our characters. So we're going to open up our smoky slate color and ink up the You're So Fly. I'm using these ergonomic blocks that we have in our online store. You do get a clear block, like I mentioned, in your first paper pumpkin kit, but I like to be able to grab onto them a little bit easier, so I love these ergonomic blocks. Plus, when you need more than one block, you can have, and different sizes, you can get them that way. So now we're going to grab the dimensionals, put a couple on the back side, peel off the backing, and we'll just put those guys right above the You're So Fly. By the way, this expression means you're so cool. And then our heart, we're going to also use the white side of that, so we'll just put a little snail adhesive on the pink side of that and press that down right in that spot. And then we're going to use the clear, oops, I stuck it down in there. There we go. Then we'll use the clear epoxy hearts, and we'll just kind of add those here and there. So I stuck on those sweet little hearts, kind of randomly going upward. And then on the inside I stamped Happy Valentine's Day with another little clear epoxy heart under there. Then on the envelope, you can stamp envelopes. We're going to stamp that extra little chameleon. And we'll do that on the lower right. And why not put a little heart there as well? It should make it through the mail. So there's a fun little note card, really easy to make, with a coordinating envelope. Let me show you a couple extras that I did that are different versions of this one. With this one, I just stuck with the ink color that comes in the kit, the Melon Mambo, and I stamped those extra fun little heart images. I kept this image, or this heart, on the pink side so that it would bring out more of the pink that's in the font. On the inside I stamped Happy Valentine's Day with a stamped off heart, and the way that you do that is basically you ink up your stamp, ink, 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 and then you stamp it off a couple times on your scrap paper and then place it onto where you want to stamp it, and it will be a lighter version of that ink. And then this is one other version I did. This one has colored epoxy hearts. The way that I got that is before I actually stuck them onto my card, I colored them with what we call a blends marker. It's an alcohol-based marker. This is the Granny Apple Green, which is super close to this green color here, which is Lemon Lime Twist. So I colored a few of the hearts, stuck them on there, and thank you big time. That comes from the Animal Outing stamp set that coordinates with this kit. So there we go. 3 different versions, all super cute. The next card I want to make for you is going to be using this Call Me Clover leaf ribbon and some blends markers. We're going to add the light Granny Apple Green to it, and I think this is the light, light Daffodil Delight. So we're going to be using those 3 and a 2-inch circle punch. In addition to that, we're going to need some extra Whisper White cardstock, or you could use the back side of one of these circle pieces here if you'd like to. So let's start by punching out one of the circles from the Whisper White cardstock, And then we'll grab our smoky slate ink again. And the stamp that I'm going to use for this one is the bird stamp. We have 2 bird stamps in this. I want the one that's facing into the left, and we'll stamp that in the lower right corner of our circle. And the sentiment that says, "For you, my friend," is so sweet. So we're going to stamp that in here in the upper right. And now let's bring in some extra paper. You can use like scrap paper, copy paper, whatever. I'm just bringing in an extra sheet of grid paper, and we're going to start coloring. We have the light and the dark granny apple green, and so I'm just going to go ahead and color the body of the bird in the light. You have 2 tips on your markers. You have the brush end tip, and then you have the bullet tip. So whatever end you're comfortable with, that's what you should use. We're going to darken up the wings a little bit. So I'm just going to come in with the darker granny apple green now and just add a little bit of that color to the base of the tail and the base of the wings. And then we're going to grab the bullet end of the light one and we're going to blend. So we're going to bring the colors together so that we have a gradual dark to light, light to dark look on those feathers of our bird. And we have the scrap paper underneath because the color will go through, especially when we're adding lots of it. You can even add a shadow to the bottom part of the bird here and blend that in and up. Okay, and then just the beak is left. Because the beak is tiny, let's use the bullet tip here. Make sure we're right in those lines. I've already snipped off a few sections of our leaf ribbon here. And what I want to do next is take our little design here, grab our dimensionals, and we're going to actually use the edges of the dimensionals. If you did not know, these are just as sticky, so use those up. And we're going to stick one under the upper right and one under the lower left. We'll peel off the backings and we'll add our pieces of leaf ribbon. So now let's grab our tiny strip of designer paper. And we're going to cut a piece that is exactly 5 inches long, so it goes all the way across our note card base. We'll bring in our note card, give it a good crease, turn this over, add our strip of designer paper across the middle. So see, even if you don't have a full sheet of paper, you can still do stuff with it. I'm going to trim this up a little bit. We have some along the edges. When you have cardstock paper peeking out the edges, it's always best to flip it over and use the edge of your card base to kind of guide you in trimming that. Okay, so now we'll take our circle and we're going to add that with snail adhesive to the right side. I like things right justified sometimes. I don't know, it just looks good to me. And then we're going to add a couple more dimensionals behind this. And we'll add that to the front of our card. Very fun. Isn't that cute? So precious for you, my friends. So it's a super nice note card ready to go. And I have to say, I find it very interesting how just flipping your designer paper over can give you a completely different result in how your card ends up. So on this one, I left out the leaf ribbon and added those heart epoxy droplets because I didn't need that dark green in there. But another fun idea, right? One of the products that carried over from the holiday catalog is our silver foiled edge note cards and envelopes. So I'm going to be using that in our next card. I'll also be using some paper from the designer series pack, the Animal Expedition, the Call Me Clover ink color, which is the green that matches the leaf ribbon. And we're going to be using some images from the Animal Outing stamp set because this stamp set paired with these, it's perfect now. You can make some baby cards too. The welcome and the little one, totally awesome for baby cards. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this card though. I'm going to actually use it this way and decorate this side like this real quick. So we're going to lay our kangaroo down in the middle of the silver foiled edge section, and then we'll stamp our welcome little one. Now we're going to take and remove the kangaroo, grab our trimmer, which has a scoring blade, and half of this width is going to be 2 1/8 inches, because this is 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to grab our scoring blade and score right down that center. We're going to fold this back and fold this forward like that. We're making a Z-fold card. Let's grab our bone folder and give it a good crease. And then we're going to open it back up. We're going to add some adhesive to one side, on the white side of this blue circle piece. So that's going to get stuck down in the center. So it's only sticking to this side of the card. So it will go like this, welcome little one. And then we're going to add some designer paper on the inside. This piece is already cut to 5 1/4 inches. So we just have to trim the other side to 4 inches. And that will fit perfectly inside this section here. And now we'll just add our kangaroo up on dimensionals. That way our kangaroo will stand out a little bit more when the card is closed like that. So now I'm going to bring in some of our shimmer ribbon. This is in Pool Party, the same color blue that matches the blue in our kit. And I think I have about 17 inches of that. I'm going to just trim that off and tie ourselves a little knot here on the right side of the card. And I'm going to keep the knot centered so it lies underneath our kangaroo. And then we'll just trim the ends. And we can adjust the ribbon so it peeks out the right amount. We're going to let these dry. I just colored some more hearts with the Granny Apple Green Blends marker. And after they're dry, we're going to add them to our card. And there we go. There's our little baby card, welcome little one. Here's yet another card I did. I stamped the chameleon all over the place, and then I added the green guy. Just cut him off of this combo here, just trimmed him out and stuck him over the top of one of those chameleons. And then on the inside, just added your one in a chameleon. I just love that saying. I think it's so adorable. Anyways, there's another card idea for you. Super simple to do. Just added him up on a dimensional and stamped these just randomly everywhere. I started out knowing where he was going to go, so I stamped him first and then added the ones in nice even little rows around. So I want to use that same idea for my last project, which is a scrapbook page. And I decided to use the earthy colors of crumb cake and soft suede along with the bright greens that are in the designer paper, the Animal Expedition. So I'm going to use that same idea. I'm going to stamp using the smoky slate color for a neutral outline going across here and across here. So my page is starting to come together. I've stamped the chameleons going across the top. Here's my other little guy that's going to stand out up on a dimensional. I'm putting down my designer series paper. I have a silver foil strip of paper. You can get silver foil, which is awesome. We have lots of metallic colors in sheets that are 12 by 12. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a white strip of cardstock down that I've already stamped my little title of my page on, Your One in a Chameleon. And I'm putting this up on dimensionals because I really want it to stand out a little bit more. The strip that's underneath is just under an inch. It's 7/8 inches by 12 inches. And then the one that is white is 3/4 of an inch by 12 inches. This piece here I believe is 3¼ inches by 12, and I positioned it 7 inches down from the top of the page. And then this strip is 1¾ by 12. Now I've added my photo mats. This photo mat is 4 by 6. This one is 2¾ by 2¾ same with this one. This one down here I think is 3¼ by 5½, and so is this one. So now we're going to bring in one of my favorite embellishments. This is rhinestones. Gotta love them. We're going to color them with some blends markers. My goodness, you can do a lot of things with these blends markers. This is the Call Me Clover color, which is the same green as this. And then here we are with the Granny Apple Green, which is similar to our Lemon Lime Twist color. So here is that finished page. I have rhinestones on 3 of them on each side of the title piece, and then I have 3 surrounding that chameleon up there, 1 of each color. And if you want to, you can make a coordinating scrapbook page for the other side. So I just took those same elements and extended them 3 more inches into this page. I took a full sheet of 8½ by 11 soft suede cardstock, and that can hold some more photos of varying sizes, or one big one, and that can go just right here on this side. And now we have our completed 2-page scrapbook spread. Now that you've watched my video, I hope that you can see that there's so much more to these kits than meets the eye. With just a few extra supplies and some imagination, you can go beyond and make so much more with these super affordable kits. I hope that you gained some inspiration from what I've shared. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can catch more paper pumpkin videos that I've shared using past kits and more that I'll share with future kits. Also, be sure to visit my website at stampyourartout.com so that you can view close-up photos of these projects, see photos of other paper pumpkin kit ideas in future and past posts, and see many other great ideas that I share using Stampin' Up! Products. You'll find those links in my description below. And to get spoiled with extra goodies, gifts, prizes, and extra exclusive paper pumpkin project ideas, get your subscription started with me as your demonstrator. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.